So what we provide in the SAP Management Pack is integration both on certified level with SAP and with System Center. And it is a forwarding mechanism from SAP to SCOM, as well as a bidirectional exchange from SCOM back to SAP for alert management. So that's the technology that we have deployed at many customers around the world for the last 5 years. Okay, so there is a wide variety of large customers. They use it in both production and non-production monitoring. Like I say, we mainly support agentless monitoring from a standpoint of ABAP as well as Java Stack through the support of CCMS technology. We have a solution that uses a connection to connect with CCMS, and we also support the availability monitoring. So both performance and availability being the critical monitors most SAP will go for. And on top of that, we do have support for additional advanced monitoring of jobs. So background jobs that are critical to your environment can also be monitored as far as their runtime, as well as if they fail, etc. The critical status of those jobs can be monitored. We've recently introduced as well some synthetic monitoring capability that will allow you to run a monitor from our management pack managed by the SCOM engine, but execute a ECAT transaction on SAP and return the status in runtime. So that supports the ability for you to make sure that some base functionality is still operational on some kind of schedule basis. Okay. We use a certified interface from SAP called External Alert Management, BCXAL. It's present in all of your NetWeaver stack, and that's the certified interface that we work with SAP on as a partner. And again, we do now support the ECAT as an add-on. So when you look at the solution, if you look at additional functionality, that is something that you can add on later. You don't have to integrate from day one. Okay, so from a features benefit standpoint, we do integrate with SLD. It's just a requirement from SAP. You don't really need to use SLD in order to use our product. We do have a ability to install fairly quickly within like 5 minutes, be able to connect with SAP with no agents installed on SAP side. And so that enables us to then pick up SAP monitors as well as filtering them, have ability to customize what will flow from CCMS to SCOM, and the ability then to allow you to further simplify by having one monitor set applied across multiple systems. Let's say you can do that in order to manage the number of alerts and metrics that you bring across to the centralized monitor in SCOM. So from alert management, you can, like I say, close an alert in SCOM and it will automatically close and acknowledge them in SAP. So as you know, in SAP, if in CCMS, you can go and you have various alerts that happen, and you can go in and complete those alerts. So we have that type of integration. If you do choose to do that in SCOM and enable that feature, that will come and close out some of those from SCOM, and you will not see in SAP. Okay. We also, part of the centralized monitoring is to facilitate the ability for a large enterprise to set thresholds in SCOM, so that instead of maintaining individual CCMS thresholds, you can maintain them in SCOM, and essentially all of your performance counters that come across can have a custom threshold set in SCOM in one place, apply for multiple systems. So customers that want to say, let's say, simple things like CPU utilization or certain metrics that are pretty much same behavior on most systems, they want to put a center threshold, it can do that in SCOM instead of going into each individual SAP environment trying to maintain alert threshold levels. Okay. Now from SCOM Ready reporting, we provide some documentation on how you hook up SCOM into various reports. We provide some out-of-the-box basic availability type reports, templates in our user guides, as well as some dashboards that we come out with. The architecture is quite simple. We do have SAP integration without agents, so therefore there's no need to deploy anything. And unlike if you're monitoring OS from SCOM perspective, you have to deploy some agents. In our case, when you want to use SAP monitoring, the management pack will use the interface to agentlessly reach out via RFC communication and in each system. So the first time you connect, you will discover the environment. We discover that hierarchy, hierarchy of servers and components that you're running on that, and we create objects in SCOM to monitor those. All right, so the deployment we require is the Windows Server for us to run the management pack. We do have ability to support our management pack for failover. So in a large configuration, you might have 2 servers designated that one can be the backup in case one server goes down. Our configuration is synchronized through the SCOM, and the second server will pick up the monitoring configuration. Yeah. And anything that SAP runs on and support from a NetWeaver standpoint, we're able to support because we don't have agents requirement. Yeah. So your option is also to directly connect to each individual system, allows you to be able to monitor the availability of systems more accurately than SAP functionality with existing CCMS ping. Those type of things are hard to configure, a little bit less reliable. We have ability to connect and check via RFC availability. If the system is up, that we're able to execute commands on it. Okay. And configuration of the connector is fairly small, so depending on how many systems you connect and what sort of alert you're trying to bring across a metrics, the footprint can be fairly small and manageable. Again, the requirements right now, we support both SCOM 2007 and latest 2012, but we're going to be phasing out SCOM 2007 for some of those early customers, probably sometime next year. All right, and the Windows 2008 and 2012, as well as the latest SCOM 2012 SP1 and I think R2, I think SP2, I think it's also supported. So architecture, again, is the basic interaction between our management pack using SDKs from both SAP and from SCOM via the certified interface. We recently were recertified with SAP as of 5 months ago. We've certified with SAP a couple of times already on the interface and our integration. And the last slide here is really about what new functionality we added to the ability to monitor synthetic transactions that can run on SAP side and initiate it from SCOM via a schedule interface so that the replay can occur and report back status in runtime. Okay, so there's a longer list of features, details, etc. Most, kind of top 10, top 20 things that customer typically asks us to monitor in their environment, and the management pack fully support these. Yeah. We would like to switch over to the live demo of the product. We have SCOM 2012 running in our lab with the SAP Management Pack version 3.3.1. We will also discuss in this presentation the collection of the operating system metrics as well as our features on the job management. With our management pack, you can bypass the use of the operating system management pack because SAP already corrects the OS collection, and we utilize that not to add additional overhead on the collection for the metrics. So things like file metrics on the database server, for instance, or I/O related paging, etc. We do pull that from the SAP collection. For job management, it is a XBP, so it's a job management as far as the external job processing that we also tap into SAP and pull that. So what you do see right now is the monitoring overview of our management pack. So we have a connector, and so it's a passive monitoring. We do collect the information from SAP, connect to the SCOM. The management pack is configured to simultaneously connect to both SCOM and SAP. And we pull data from SAP and then push into SCOM. In fact, it's bidirectional, and so the way we deploy it, it's an ease of deployment. So the connector can be installed in a failover configuration. If one connector goes down, the other one can pick up the workload. When you install and connect, you have a pretty straightforward GUI. So within minutes, literally, you can get data flowing to the SCOM environment. So with the configuration utility, so the SCOM connection, normally in a domain, and then with the SAP system, we have one or more. You can connect differently via message server, or you can connect directly to an app server. Standard SAP connection parameters are allowed. Once you connect to each system, you have the ability to choose each monitor set and what monitors under that. So it is interactive. You can click the CCMS monitor set, will pull the set of monitors. Once you have the monitor sets, you can click the appropriate monitors or combination. And when you test the connection, you are connected to the system. Then you start the collection. That information will be posted into SCOM. SCOM will the data and create appropriate objects. We provide both the alerts as well as the data. The alerts are posted into SCOM and then processed as also SCOM alerts. We also pull performance metrics. Within the performance metrics, once they are counters processed in SCOM, we have a number of monitors that can introduce thresholds and create additional alerts. So one of the ease of management is we can pull this data from various SAP systems, and then within SCOM, we're able to apply a single threshold across different systems. That makes your life easier in terms of managing thresholds across the environment. Of course, that's only one of the ways to do that. Some folks do prefer that to be done on SAP sites, and that can also be applied on CCMS, which then creates the alerts and floats them over to SCOM. We also provide the availability monitoring from our perspective. If you connect directly to an SAP SIT, we're able to then use RFC to check on each app server to make sure that they are actually available by logging on and performing some actions. In addition to monitoring, we also manage jobs as far as monitoring. With the XBP interface that SAP provides, the API, you can subscribe to certain jobs based on filtering. So by job name, by username, and also job group. You can also do wildcards. Let me show you. Okay, on other systems we have a couple usernames configured. So any jobs that are scheduled and run on SAP that matches the username, we will then monitor them, bring in the status as well as performance metrics. You can set thresholds to duration, runtime. Even if they fail, they'll report the status. If they run too quickly, we also have one of the metrics that we say that if it ran under a certain amount of time, then that might be an issue. So let's take a look at how a management pack look on the SCOM side. Within the operation console, we import our management pack that will interpret the data that comes in from SAP. You can see a number of categories, folders, and views. So under SAP systems, every time it discover or you configure, it will populate in the systems view. It does detect the components that its system is running. So this is kind of a high-level overview health of the system, whether it's warning or critical under each of the components by the system. In the grid, you can dive in, and when you open the Health Explorer, similar to RZ20 in SAP for basis folks, the Health Explorer opens up kind of a tree of the alerts. So when you first come in, it filters by hierarchy of alerts that have some warning or critical, but you can take the filter off. You can show all of the monitors that we have. So out of the box, we provide a lot of monitors, but we don't enable all of them. Will depend on your specific requirements that you want to pull and monitor in SCOM. So if you select the correct or the appropriate monitor set monitor in RZ20, then in the SCOM we can then enable various different monitors to process that data. So with the OS collector in SAP, we also then look at the metrics for file systems. We also look at database in terms of the table space size, available space. So if from a fundamental monitoring of OS and database, you don't need the additional management pack, you can use our management pack with the additional functionality for free without the additional agents deployed. It is provide availability as well as from basic metrics. That will also, of course, depends on what OS collector provides. So we are dependent on SAP in that respect. So if you want something that is not available in OS collector, although it is more and more functional on SAP side with the more recent SAP Diagnostic Agent and NetWeaver releases. So depending on the SAP side, if you have specific applications like BI or some process chains or specific CRM or anything specific that we may not have out-of-the-box monitors for, you still can enable the monitoring in RZ20, and those alerts will come across, and specific monitors we can create, or we can show you how to create those in SCOM if you want to process those performance counters separately. So the monitors in SCOM really reflect what you like to monitor, as long as the data is configured in RZ20 to flow across to SCOM. So primarily on an ABAP Java NetWeaver stack, pretty much everything that RZ20 has in terms of monitor sets we can cover in our SCOM. It's just a matter of custom threshold. Where would you like to configure the custom thresholding, whether in SAP or in SCOM? So on a large enterprise, we find lots of customers preferring to go to our monitors in SCOM and using the data that flows from CCMS, configure centralized threshold and alerting from there instead of at individual SAP systems. So we'll proceed to look at the other parts of information that the management pack is configured with. Of course, any of these, as you can see, you can override as well. So if a certain monitor is disabled, you can override, enable those. You can even configure different alert level. From our management pack, we provide unsealed, and you can also from there customize and add additional features into, let's say, a custom management pack out of our own management pack. You can override and then create such additional functionality. And so currently we do have plans to also extend our monitor management pack outside of the NetWeaver stack, but that's future development. We plan to integrate some of our functionality directly to the SAP host agent and pull the data directly without the reliance on the SAP CCMS monitor set. So for Java, there is a requirement, SAP's requirement is to hook up Java to a central monitor. So within the central monitor, you can monitor a standalone Java. So let's say for Portal, you can hook it up to CCMS system such as a solution manager or any system, in fact, that acts as a central monitor, and then we can pull the Java metrics from there. Okay, so but in the future, what we will do is we will pull information directly from the Java stack through the host control agent and some of the web services available. So for now, the CCMS configuration, we have a XML file that will allow you to import to RZ20 that monitors the Java J2E environment. Some similar XML that we do provide, so that will help you create the initial monitor set, includes basis, PI, database specific, NQ type monitoring. So various different containers that we provide XML, you can start creating the initial set of monitor sets in SAP. So the performance metrics you see, let's take a look. So alerts container, it's always an important part of monitoring the ability for us to pull alerts based on filters from monitor set. And once we discover systems as well as systems you connect to, the alerts can be deduplicated in SCOM side. So if you get multiple alerts in a short time frame, you can deduplicate it. We can manage these alerts. We can even forward to notification engines or some kind of service level management downstream. Those are all possible within the custom environment. We do provide a bidirectional synchronization. So if I close an alert here, the connector will also acknowledge them in SAP. So complete them in SAP. The other way also works if SAP was creating an alert was created in SCOM. Then in SAP side, let's say the basis person complete those alerts. It also then synchronize that over to SCOM to complete that alert in SCOM as well. And closing that reduces the management overhead. So we do have in our lab environment pulling a lot of data. We do use a kind of an open wide type of monitor set to demonstrate the types of things that comes across. So when you open the alert properties, you can look at the properties. You can really look inside the alert that we pull from SAP. We do integrate with ticket systems, so some customers use the customer fields with SAP related information. That may look familiar to the basis folks. So these custom fields then are used by other downstream integration. As far as the XML that we pull in from the alert, they provide a full context. So if you want to dive into more fields and look at more detailed information, the SCOM can configure the alert, how to forward that information on if needed. Sometimes they pick information from there to create tickets. Looking at background jobs, you can see the background jobs monitored. So we have the criteria, the jobs are discovered, and then for each background job, you can see the look at the performance monitoring of the job, the types of status, the runtime information. The runtime is in flight, how long it's been running. The job duration is whether the job completed, what the time was, or if it didn't complete, what the time it took. We also have database container that looked at the type of database. So we do support most of the database SAP runs on. So out of the box, Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, for instance, most popular ones. We do have future supportability that will also support HANA. So on the SAP side, as soon as you have any table spaces, information tables, any kind of availability of those objects, you can see, for instance, Oracle, the status of table space, their performance, I/O, access, free, used. So we do have ability to also deploy database management pack from our partner, but most of our case SAP customers find it sufficient to provide availability and some space management at the database level for space containers and performance. But if you do need a in-depth performance monitor of the database, we also have that capability through our partner.